planning to make a video today, but I saw a story that kind of brings home what the powers that be are trying to do to you and me. And it was just, it really bothered me. It takes place in Moab, Utah. I don't know if you've ever been to Utah or anything about Utah. We lived there twice. The first tour of duty in the Air Force after tech school in Colorado, where my older son was born, was in Ogden, Utah, at Hill Air Force Base. And then at the end of our career, there were 2 more years at Hill Air Force Base when my husband went back to become the head of the shop that he was in as a young airman. But Moab, Utah is in southern Utah. It's a desert. It's all desert, and it's very rocky and lots of interesting places. It's just like it's out west. It's out in the west in the desert. And I never thought of Moab, Utah as needing high density housing or anything. But the story was, apparently, I think it was the city of Moab. I don't think it was the county. The city of Moab or the county, I made whatever you could probably find the story. They actually purchased a mobile home park in 2018, and they were with the intention of making it affordable housing. Okay. Now this mobile home park is very old. It has a lot of pre-HUD standard mobile homes, very, very old tin can looking mobile homes. Okay, and I would say the mobile homes are kind of run down, and they have and motor homes too, fifth wheel, everything parked. And they were talking to a woman, and she was holding a very young child, a baby, and I thought it was hers, but apparently it's her granddaughter. They received a notice from the new owner of the mobile home park that said, you have 2 months to get out. These people have nowhere to go. These people, they're living, one lady's been there, she said they've been there 15 years. Her grandkids don't want to move out of there. They like the place. They're used to it. It's home. 15 years is a long time. And she owns that mobile home. Okay, that is hers. But in 2 months, they have to all be out. And they have to be out because they're going to build affordable housing by kicking out people who can't afford to pay for the new housing. What they're going to do is they're going to make these nice little apartments, and they're going to have rack 'em stack 'em housing, and they're cramming everybody in, and they're going to be nice, but these people are not going to be able to afford it. And imagine her trailer's paid for, right? And these people can't afford it. And I'm sure they protested and said something, to the new owners that where are we going to go? We have nowhere to go. We can't buy anything. We can't afford this. And they finally said, well, anybody who moves out in 2 months will give you $10,000 each, which sounds like a lot on the surface. But if you consider how much a house payment is, how much rent is these days, and the deposits, cleaning deposit, all that kind of stuff, a lot of that, several $1,000s are going to be eaten up by that. And then after they use their $10,000, then they can't afford their rent and they'll be homeless. So they're kicking out people in a low-income mobile home park so they can build affordable housing. Does that not seem completely oxymoronic and hypocritical to you? And they won't be able to afford to live in it if it got built. So that really bugs me. I'm looking at the mobile home park. It's old and it's run down. It didn't look particularly trashy, but it just has a lot of older units in there, okay? And you know how that can look after a while, especially when people can't afford to keep them fixed up. So, yeah, that really bugged me. I want you in rack 'em stack 'em housing. And I just think there's going to come a time when, like on Yellowstone, if you're a Yellowstone fan, there was a reporter who said, no man should own this much land. No man should own that. I mean, it was their family heritage. It was passed down from John Dutton's father. It was passed down through the ages to the family, and it is family land. And he doesn't have a right to have it because it's more than they can afford. And I'm thinking, my husband said, they're going to actually one of these days say that you shouldn't have more than your fair share. I said that, he says that. And people like me who own acreage, I have a very small acreage. I mean, my main house is on 2¼ acres, but then I bought the other 2 lots that adjoin this one. So we have a total of about 5.4 acres, okay? And we do everything on the main one with the house and the outbuildings and the gardens and the fruit trees and the berries and all that kind of stuff. But I can see a time coming when they're going to say, well, you can't afford more. You can't have more than your fair share. It doesn't matter if you can afford it or not. It doesn't matter if you can pay the taxes on it or not. And then, of course, I'm seeing other real estate videos where people got somebody in South Carolina, they got an reappraisal of a property. They had a tax cut bill that passed. The tax rate was lowered. But when you revalue these things and they're worth 50% more than they were, this guy was complaining, he said, I have a bare lot. Now it went up by 50% the assessment. Now, of course, I don't get, the tax cut is irrelevant because now I owe so many more taxes on this. And so there's that. And then they're saying that the Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA said they plan to cut interest rates 3 times before the election to make Biden look good. I don't know how they can make him look good. I mean, you're dreaming if you think you can ever make that old geezer look good in any way, shape, or form. He's done nothing but horrible things to this country, to the citizens, and let in all the undesirables across the southern border, and then tried to disarm American citizens so they can't defend themselves against the people he just let in. But they're going to cut interest rates. But housing prices are expected to keep rising. The reason my son bought a house in this ridiculous market a couple of years ago is because his rent for a 1-bedroom apartment where he was to have his grow tent, you've seen that. He had his grow tent growing vegetables and herbs in his apartment, 1-bedroom apartment. That was going up from like $1,300 to $1,800 a month. And he thought, well, why am I wasting my money? And he bought a house. And he loves his house. He grows all kinds of things. He's trying to be more self-sufficient there. I've done a video and showed you his growing beds in the back. And, so he said, I'm just not doing that. I'm not paying that kind of rent for a 1-bedroom. Why would I do that when I could have this big 3-bedroom, 2-bath house that's renovated and a half-acre yard? That's crazy. But all of real estate, there's no end in sight for this. They say some people say it's going to crash. It's going to be worse than 2008. But I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't think any of us do. I feel like my husband and I are in a really good position here. Our property taxes are lower than just about any county in this North Georgia. And when I paid, I expected, like the year before last, I expected my taxes to go up, property taxes to rise because the reassessment of the homes and whatnot during the COVID crap. And I thought, well, our homeowners insurance is going to go sky high. The property taxes are going to go sky high. Well, our homeowners insurance was about almost $1,000. I think it was almost $1,000. What was it? No, I don't remember now. It wasn't that. But after it was homeowners insurance. Yeah, it wasn't the property taxes. That's a lot lower. The homeowners insurance was like $900 and something a year for this property, and when I paid off the mortgage, the next time I had to pay homeowners insurance, the homeowners insurance had dropped by $200 a year. Went down. And I thought, wow, it's probably because there's not another creditor involved. Now there's no bank involved. There's no mortgage lender or anything like that. Maybe that's why. But in the middle of everything going up, it went down. So as far as property taxes and homeowners insurance, I don't think we could do any better than where we are now. The next best thing would be to build the house on the other lot. But that house is going to be valued as high as this one, probably, and or higher. And then we will pay the new property tax rate and new homeowners insurance rates. So there's that. But I want to talk to you. There's something I heard the other day. I posted pictures of my quilt that I'm trying to decide if that I've almost got that dark teal border attached in miter. I got a miter the last two corners. I didn't think it was right to have a border that went like this and like this, like, a squared off border at the corners. I thought it'd makes sense to have a mitered corner since there's so many angles in that quilt. But I'm trying to decide, do I put a black border around the teal border or just leave it as is? It's 50 something inches as is. It's a square. And I wonder if I should put that. I could add a row of blocks at the top and a row of blocks at the bottom, and then bind it again. Border it again to make it longer. But I don't want to overwhelm myself. I'm just trying to get back into this, and I was so frustrated with everything was going on. I may just leave it as is. But I saw something on the channel I'd never seen before, and it was like 10 things quilters say that are wrong or something like that. And I listened to it. I can't remember anything except one thing that stood out to me. This woman said, quilters often say that a completed quilt is better than a perfect quilt. And then she said, no, it's as if she thinks that if you feel like it's more important to finish the quilt than to spend and twice as long trying to perfect everything on the quilt, every corner, every angle. It's like she's saying I think that's wrong. And I'm thinking, I don't agree with you at all. And I think that saying can apply to a lot in life. To get something done is better than trying to wait until you've got the perfect situation, the perfect timing. Prepping is like that. It looks like we're about to get some rain here. Yikes. The Midwest is really suffering, so I hope y'all are safe out there, all you people where those storms have been coming across, all the tornadoes. I don't think it's going to hit us. We've had a lot of wind today, but I don't think we're going to actually get the worst of it here because we're too far south, I think. I don't think it's going to happen. But anyway, so I understand what she's saying, except that just because you believe you need to finish a quilt, and you would like to at least accomplish the completion of it, that doesn't mean you're going to cut corners and not do your best on the rest of it, on the construction of it and the quilting of it. That doesn't mean that. And so I think she's really wrong, because I have a lot of angles, a lot of points that got cut off slightly on this quilt, and where it should have been a sharp point where two triangles come together, and then it didn't leave enough material outside, so when you put it attached to another border, then you cut off the point, and I have a lot of those in there. But I thought, if I spent time remaking everything I screwed up on this quilt, I would never get it finished, and I would end up just stopping. I would end up quitting it. And I don't want to be a quitter. I don't want to quit it. So it's coming along with imperfections and all. Nobody can make a perfect quilt. I don't know why she thinks anybody could. Nobody can make a perfect quilt. If she thinks she can make a perfect quilt, I'd like to see that, because I just don't think it can happen. Oh yeah, I think I'm going to have to go, but I just want to check in with y'all today and talk about that. What do you think? Do you think she's wrong about that? Or do you think I'm wrong about that? But it's like prepping. Oh, I don't have any place to store my stuff, and I just don't have all the money I need, and I would like to do this, this, and this. And it's like my husband, he's going to go get some extra solar panels, but he had a coupon for Harbor Freight for a discounted solar panel, but it was only good for one. He goes, well, I need 4. I don't need just one. I said, well, why don't you just get them one at a time? Here's a coupon. Go get one. We'll just keep adding them. I said, in case a big wind comes along, a tornado, and throws all our solar panels, takes all our solar panels away, we need to have some extras ready to go. So I said, don't worry about you can't get 4 at once, just get one. Go ahead and get one. Harbor Freight has pretty good solar panels. They carry a pretty good brand. So anyway, so don't wait till everything's perfect to finish something. Finish something. A sense of accomplishment is really worth something. Let me tell you. And if you keep trying to be the see, I always call myself a recovering perfectionist, you know that. And if I tried to be the perfectionist about every little thing on every quilt, I would never finish it. And I would get frustrated and throw it into garbage and be done with it, And I almost did that with the last quilt I made. Almost. I had so many machine problems. This machine is working like a dream, though. It is such a superior quality to the other one. It's kind of different level machine anyway. The other one is kind of more of a basic one than this one is. But anyway, yeah, what do you think? Do you think she's wrong or do you think I'm wrong about, you know, a finished quilt is more important than a perfect quilt? As if you could do one of those, right? So I gotta go. I gotta go get my chickens in. It looks like we might get some rain. We weren't supposed to, but you know, the weatherman, he always predicts rain after it's raining. You just need to get it right beforehand. Catch y'all later. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye, everybody.